Hello friends, I am CA Pritam Sangwan and today we will discuss about mutual funds which is very relevant for SEBI Grade A exam and RBI Grade B exam 2020. In this video we will discuss about what is mutual funds, various classifications of mutual funds, advantages and disadvantages of mutual funds, various terms used in the mutual funds. So stick around the video and watch it till the end. So let's begin and start one by one. Now the first question is, what is mutual fund? So friends, mutual fund is a trust. It is a trust. What it do? It pools resources or savings from large number of investors and it issues units to the investor. And what it do with this resources or the money received from the investors? It invest capital in capital market and in money market. So which are the capital instruments that it invests? Here mutual funds invest in shares or debentures. And which are the money market instruments? Money market instruments can be commercial papers or certificate of deposit. So all these instruments it invests. So just again quickly summarize what is mutual funds. Friends, it is a trust. What it do? It pools all the resources and savings from the large number of investors in it and issues units to them. And with the capital they had in their hand from this received from investors, they invest in the capital market and money market instruments, where the capital market instruments are shares, debentures, etc., and money market instruments are commercial papers and certificates of deposits. I'll give you one more example just to get a hold of what is mutual funds and how entire mutual fund works. Before we move on to the next point, just want to discuss one important thing. If you are preparing for SEBI Grade A exam journal stream, so you can visit to Finance MCQ website for preparing your paper 2. That is important, that is your technical syllabus, important for your phase 1 and phase 2 of your exam. On Finance MCQ website you will find entire technical syllabus, that is your paper 2 in MCQ questions format. So whatever we are discussing here, you will find all this in MCQ format on Finance MCQ website. There you will have 2000 plus MCQ questions chapter wise, topic wise to practice, and you will also find explanations for correct answers wherever required. Apart from that, there will also be 25 test series to practice. So friends, there are a lot of study material to prepare for your examination and it will increase your selection chances significantly. So do visit Finance MCQ website for preparing your entire paper 2, that is your technical syllabus of phase 1 and phase 2 for your journal stream candidates. So visit Finance MCQ website and check the MCQ questions there. Thank you, and let's move on to the next point. How this mutual fund is formed? Say these are 5 people, 1 2 3 4 5. So these 5 people, they forms a trust, and these are known as trustees of this trust, and they want to carry on the mutual fund business, so they form another company, which is known as asset management company. What is known as asset management company. And the investors like you and me, like these investors, they give their money, they invest in these AMCs and they issues units to them, and these AMCs are, who manage these AMCs? These AMCs are managed by fund managers, and these managers invest the capital what they received from investors in capital market or money market. And now the question, who can invest in mutual funds? So the answer is anybody can invest in mutual funds. There is no restriction that one person cannot invest in this. So it's just to give you an entire idea of how these things works. So these people, these 5 people will be called as trustee, and this AMC, that is asset management company, it actually runs the entire fund business. So investors invest with them, they get the surplus money, they get the money with them. Then they have these professional fund managers, they invest this in capital and money market, and on that they generate returns, and which eventually distributed to these investors. So I hope the basic idea of mutual funds is clear. So let's move on to the next point. Now the second point is fund classification. What are the classifications of mutual funds? So fund classification. So friends, mutual funds are divided into 2 types. One is open-ended fund, is also known as open-ended fund or open-ended scheme, and the second type is close-ended scheme. Close-ended fund or scheme. Let's discuss one by one. What is open-ended scheme or open-ended fund? Here, as the name suggests, here you can have entry and exit anytime, at any time. There is no restriction when one can enter and exit from this fund. It as per your convenience, you can enter and exit from this fund. And the capital of the fund is also unlimited. What it is? That is, fund capital is also unlimited in this category. So unlimited. And here the redemption period is indefinite, that is not defined. Redemption period is indefinite. That is, the redemption when the funds will be redeemed is not mentioned. So it is up to you. Whenever you want to join, you can join, and whenever you want to exit, you can exit from this fund. On the other hand, close-ended fund. Now what is this close-ended fund? So friends, here one can buy into the scheme during an IPO or from stock market. So what it is? When can buy this close-ended scheme? From IPO or from stock market. You can buy, and it has a limited life. That is, they have a specific period. These funds are for specific period. So it has a limited life. After once the period gets over, the funds get distributed, or corpus got liquidated. And exit, how you can exit from the scheme? Exit from the scheme, if you want to exit from the scheme, how that can be done? It is can be done by selling in stock market, or at the expiry of scheme, or during repurchase period at the option time. So by these three ways you can exit from selling in the stock market at the time of expiry of the scheme and during repurchase period. At options time you can exit from the scheme. I hope this open-ended and close-ended scheme is clear. And there is also a third type. Third type is interval fund. Now what is this interval fund? It's a cross between open-ended and close-ended scheme. Cross between open-ended and close-ended scheme. Now what does it mean? It means scheme is open for both purchase and redemption. Scheme open for both purchase and redemption at a pre-specified interval. Pre-specified intervals. Now what are these intervals? It can be purchase or sell at a interval of monthly or quarterly, yearly, etc. And at what price this can be purchased or redeemed? At a prevailing NPV. Prevailing NPV. So this is interval fund, a third type after open-ended, close-ended. This, to just summarize this interval fund, it is a cross between open-ended and close-ended scheme. In this scheme, both purchase and redemption can be done at a pre-specified intervals, and these intervals can be monthly, quarterly, yearly, etc. depending upon the terms. And at what price these can be purchased or redeemed? At a prevailing NPV. So this is interval fund. I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to the next point. Now we talk about advantages of mutual funds. So first advantage is it is professionally managed funds or professional management. Here all these the fund managers, they are professional people, they know their business, and they whatever the capital they have, they invest after research. So the entire mutual fund is professionally managed. Then another advantage is diversification. Now due to this diversification opportunity, say you don't need to invest in a one particular stock. In mutual funds they invest in multiple stock, multiple markets, hence it reduces your risk. So diversification is another advantage of mutual funds. Then higher returns. Higher returns in medium to long term. Medium to long term. Say if you invested in a couple of years, in medium to long term run, mutual funds usually gives higher return as compared to your other investments. So it is said that the longer you are invested in the mutual funds, the more better returns you will get. So it's another advantage of mutual funds. Then low cost of management. The mutual funds management cost, they have specified a limit that only maximum cost that much of total assets can be incurred on running. So usually mutual funds have a low cost of management, not much expense in that. And the liquidity. So open-ended funds, anytime you can exit and purchase. So if you require funds, you can exit immediately whenever you required. And in close-ended, at a specific interval, you can redeem your units. So it's it provides a liquidity to you. So another advantage of mutual funds. So these are just the basic advantages of mutual funds. Now also discuss disadvantages of mutual funds. Disadvantages of mutual funds. Now the first one is no guarantee of returns. Friends, in mutual funds there is no guarantee of return. Your entire return depends upon performance of your fund. If your fund performed well, your returns are high, and if it is not, then it impacts your return. So there is no guarantee. Then selection of proper fund. Say it's not like that you can, for the shares you can invest in one shares. Here there are multiple shares that they make an investments. So which type of funds that you should invest, equity, debt or hybrid? So there are the multiple choices. So one having so much diversified funds, so it's like you get a confused ki where to invest and where to not to invest and which type of funds to invest. And the third is cost factor. Here in mutual funds you will find entry and exit load. So you have to be careful while selecting the funds, that some mutual funds have entry load and exit load, so it increases your cost. So it's also a disadvantage that you are not getting what actual price it is, but on that you have to pay certain additional amount. So cost factors also matter. Then another is taxes. Friends, mutual funds are subject to taxes. There are certain funds which are tax free, but in remaining you have to pay capital gain taxes on your mutual funds. So taxes is another disadvantages in mutual funds. So I hope this is clear. Now let's move on to the next point. Friends, now let's discuss various terms in mutual funds. First one is net present value. So friends, net present value, it is net value of all assets of the fund minus liabilities. And what does this NPV represents? It represents market value of total assets of mutual funds. So how this NPV is calculated? NPV is calculated market value of total assets minus your liabilities divided upon number of units. And this NPV changes daily because the investments in the market fluctuates, so accordingly your NPV will also fluctuates. So remember what is NPV. So let's move on to the next point, entry load and exit load. Exit load. What is this entry load? It is while purchasing the units, certain cost is added. So it is added to your NAV, net asset value, while purchasing. And this exit load, when this exit load is added, it is a sales charges to compensate distribution cost. It is deducted from NAV. And one more crucial factor is, friends, this entry and exit load goes to AMC and not added in the pool of investments. So this entire money, entry load and exit load, this is goes to AMC. Entry and exit load goes to AMC and not added in the pool of investments or the money received from the all investors. So it's their income. So I hope this entry load and exit load is clear. The next term used is trail commission. Now what is this trail commission? Friends, it is mutual fund investors pays to his advisor. Is mutual fund investors pays to whom? Pays to his advisor. And when it is paid each year. So he can recommend, suggest mutual funds to him. So it is paid to the advisor firm or advisor every year, and this commission is known as trail commission. It's a pretty simple one, so I hope it is clear. Let's move on to the next point. Another term used is expense ratio. Now what is this expense ratio? Friends, it is percentage of assets spent on running mutual funds. What it is? Percentage of assets that is spent on running mutual fund. On running mutual funds. And this expense ratio, what does it includes? It includes management fees, includes whatever fees paid to the management, fees, advisory fees, travel cost, consultancy fees, etc. Cost, etc. is included, but it does not include brokerage cost. Not include brokerage cost. And friends, this expense ratio is also known as management expense ratio. Management expense ratio, in shorter it's MER. So I hope this is clear. Expense ratio, it is an important one. It can be asked in your exam, that it is a percentage of assets spent on running mutual funds, and it includes management fees, your advisory fees, travel fees or travel cost, consultancy cost, etc. And but it does not include brokerage cost, and it is also known as management expense ratio. I hope this is clear. So let's move on to the next point. Now the next term used is side pocketing. Side pocketing. Now what is this side pocketing and what happens in this side pocketing? So friends, here what usually happens here, the separation of risky assets from other investments. What happened? Separation of risky assets from other investments and cash holdings. From other investments and cash holding. And what's the purpose of doing that? Purpose is making sure money invested in mutual funds, making sure that money invested in mutual fund, which money that is linked to stressed assets, linked to stressed asset, gets blocked, gets locked. Now what happens due to this? Until what time this money gets locked? Until funds recover money from the company. Until funds recover this money which is invested from company. And why it is done? It is done to avoid any distressed selling. To avoid any distressed selling. So let's again understand what is this side pocketing. So friends, side pocketing is separation of risky assets from other investments and cash holding. And why it is done? It is done to make sure that whatever money is invested in these mutual funds which is linked to these stressed assets get blocked until what time? Until the funds recover this money from the company. And why they do that? To avoid any distress selling. So I hope this side pocketing term is clear. Now let's move on to a next point. Now the next term used is tracking error. So what is this tracking error? So friends, tracking error is divergence or deviation of fund return. What it is? Divergence. Now fund diversion or deviation from whom? From benchmark return. from benchmark return it is following. So friends, tracking error is diversion or deviation of funds return from its benchmark return that it is following. So I hope this tracking error point is clear. So friends, today we discuss what is mutual funds, various classifications of mutual funds, advantages and disadvantages of mutual funds, and various terms used in the mutual funds. Friends, you can practice all these things in MCQ format on Finance MCQ website, and all those SEBI aspirants that who are preparing for SEBI Grade A General Stream exams, they can visit the website and they can prepare their entire technical paper 2. It is paper 2 in MCQ question format on the website, including what we have learned today about the mutual funds. You will find entire these mutual funds in MCQ question format on Finance MCQ website. So visit the website and increase your chances of selection. And I will come up with new video. Till then, take care and thank you so much for watching.